Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the first Global Heat Health Information Network Southeast Asia Heat Health Forum. My name is Sharifa.
My name is Samuel.
Now, as part of our day jobs, we are research fellows working at the Heat Resilience and Performance Center at the National University of Singapore. However, today and over the course of this forum, we are delighted to be your MCs for this event. First on our agenda for the opening ceremony is a welcome video by World Meteorological Organization Deputy Secretary General, Ms. Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues, it's a pleasure to address you today at the inaugural Southeast Asia Heat Health Forum, hosted by the Southeast Asia Heat Health Hub of the Heat Resilience and Performance Center of the National University of Singapore. I'd like to thank the organizers, partners, and participants gathered there in Singapore, and I'm confident that the discussions will pave the way for a heat-resilient Southeast Asia. This forum is a vital initiative bringing together key delegates to tackle one of our time's greatest challenges, the growing impact of extreme heat. The forum's theme, Toward a Heat-Resilient Southeast Asia, Enhancing Livelihoods and Well-Being, aligns with the urgent need for evidence-based policies, innovative solutions, and regional partnerships to protect communities and ecosystems from rising extreme heat risks. I'm pleased to see this Heat Health Forum deepen discussions and engage a broader range of regional stakeholders. Last September, the Singapore-based ASEAN Specialized Meteorological Center and the World Meteorological Organization hosted a regional forum, which leveraged the latest climate science to better understand climate change's current and future impacts on agriculture, health, water, energy, and emergency management in Southeast Asia. Our Secretary General, Professor Celeste Saulo, had the opportunity to visit the Heat Resilience and Performance Center and experience the simulated heat stress firsthand. At WMO, we monitor the Earth's climate and see the alarming pace of global warming. Last November at COP29, we reported that 2024 is on track to be the hottest year on record, with global temperatures briefly surpassing the critical 1.5 degrees C threshold. In addition, our State of the Climate report shows Asia had its second warmest year, and the Southwest Pacific was among the three warmest. The human cost of heat is immense: lives lost, reduced productivity, and strained health systems. Yet, this is also a story of opportunity. The Global Heat Health Information Network, co-hosted by WMO and the World Health Organization, exemplifies the power of partnerships to address this complex issue. This network accelerates heat action by connecting experts, generating actionable knowledge, and catalyzing policy and innovation. The creation of regional hubs like the Southeast Asia Heat Health Hub earlier this year strengthens our ability to adapt global solutions locally and foster regional science policy partnerships to tackle local challenges. This forum represents a pivotal moment to advance heat governance by focusing on urban heat, workplace safety, and community perspectives while addressing multi-sectoral impacts. And as you deliberate, your collective expertise will be crucial in developing evidence-based strategies and identifying enablers for effective heat risk management. This forum's outcomes will advance a heat-resilient Southeast Asia and provide lessons to inform global efforts, including WMO's Early Warning for All initiative and the UN Secretary General's call for action on extreme heat. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing about the innovative ideas and collaborations that emerge from your work there.
What a way to kickstart our forum's opening ceremony. Next, I am pleased to invite Professor Chong Seng, Dean of NUS Yong Lin School of Medicine, to deliver his welcome address. Professor Chong, please.
Good morning, Senior Minister of State for Sustainability and the Environment, Dr. Koon, esteemed representatives from the World Meteorological Organization, World Health Organization, International Labour Organization, and the ASEAN Development Bank. Keynote speakers and insight speakers, distinguished delegates, partners, colleagues, and friends, a warm welcome to the inaugural Global Heat Health Information Network Heat Health Forum. It's both my honor and privilege to welcome you today to this pivotal forum. Last year, the UN Secretary General underlined the immediate dangers the world is facing from the effects of climate change through a call to action on extreme heat. The latest ILO report states that over 70% of the global workforce is now facing extreme heat risk. Heat stress is a silent killer, despite being the leading cause of weather-related deaths. The UN Call to Action paper stated that an unbelievable 489,000 heat-related deaths occur each year, which is 30 times more than that from weather events like tropical cyclones. The 2024 report of the Lancet Countdown on Health and Climate Change that Associate Professor Jason Lee, Director of the Heat Resilience and Performance Center at NUS Yong Lin School of Medicine, and his team have participated in for 4 consecutive years, revealed that people all around the world are facing record-breaking threats to their well-being, health, and survival from the rapidly changing climate. The effects of extreme heat compounds health, economic and social inequalities, and disproportionately affects the most vulnerable. With escalating challenges of chronic heat stress, heat-related diseases, the associated heat risk and effects extreme heat has on all aspects of our health, including pregnancy and child development and fertility, this forum is most timely and very appropriately hosted by a medical school. We have an exceptional assembly of minds and organizations gathered here today, and discussions over the next 4 days will be critical in paving a collective path towards a more heat-resilient future for the Southeast Asia region and perhaps beyond. At the National University of Singapore, we believe committed collaboration is necessary to address the interconnected challenges of health, climate, and urban development. For the past few years, NUS Medicine has been working closely with partners aligned with our commitment to translate heat health research into real-world applications. Project Heat Safe is a collaborative, multidisciplinary research project that focuses on the protection of workers from rising temperatures due to climate change. Led by Associate Professor Jason Lee and in collaboration with Singapore ministries and overseas institutions, the team mapped the complex threat of heat exposures to human health and work productivity in exertional populations, before identifying preventive policies and actions to protect workers from heat injuries. Few studies were conducted in Singapore, Vietnam, Cambodia, and South Korea, with workers in the construction and manufacturing sectors, as well as platform workers doing delivery work. The research outputs from the Project Heat Safe contributed to the Singapore Ministry of Manpower's enhanced measures to reduce heat stress for outdoor workers policy, as well as resulted in enhanced measures to safeguard our nation's workers' health and well-being. The development of new and novel methods to enhance occupational safety and performance in the heat is another focus of the Heat Resilience and Performance Center at NUS Medicine. In addition to Project Heat Safe, recent efforts of the center have been focused on the development and integration of proprietary algorithms into a real-time remote monitoring system to enable timely and informed decisions to be made so as to mitigate the risk of heat injuries whilst working in the heat. As part of the Cooling Singapore 2.0 project, the Human Potential Translational Research Program is also looking to understand physiological and behavioral responses of prepubertal children when exercising in hot and humid conditions. As an extension and augmentation of our regional collaboration efforts, the Heat Resilience and Performance Center at NUS Medicine will serve as the regional hub of the Global Heat Health Information Network to foster collaboration, knowledge exchange, and capacity building across Southeast Asia. This forum, the first GHIN Southeast Asia Heat Health Forum, reflects the Centre's intent and commitment as the Southeast Asia Heat Health Hub to advance regional heat resilience and safeguard the health of communities in the region by aligning the interests of research, policy, industry, and communities. The program for the next few days revolves around 3 critical focus areas to address unique heat health challenges specific to the region. 1, urban heat, where we explore climate-sensitive urban design, building performance, and informal settlements. 2, heat at work, to address occupational heat stress, productivity, and national guidelines for safety and health. 3, by leveraging historical knowledge, architectural adaptations, and traditional medicine, community culture, and traditional perspectives, which can all help inform modern approaches. In closing, our region's health depends on our region's resilience to extreme heat, and a healthier future is a heat-resilient one. This forum is but the start of a sustained and concerted regional effort to address the pressing challenges of heat and health through evidence-based solutions, scientific exchange, and collaboration. So thank you all for being here today and for being a part of our journey towards building a heat-resilient Southeast Asia. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Chong. It is now my honor to invite our guest of honor, Dr. Koon, Senior Minister of State, Ministry of Sustainability and the Environment, and Ministry of Manpower, to give the opening address. SMS Ko, please.
Everything is sliding off. I have to take this off, actually. Bring this down. Dr. Joy Shumake-Guillemot, Head of the WHO Joint Office for Climate and Health and Co-Chair of the Global Heat Health Information Network, or GHIN. International representatives, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning and a Happy New Year to everyone. Welcome to hot, warm, and sunny Singapore. Now, I'm delighted to join you all this morning at the first GHIN Southeast Asia Heat Health Forum. What a right place to do this, right? Now, GHIN, or Global Heat Health Information Network, is a joint initiative by the World Health Organization and the World Meteorological Organization to examine the health risks arising from extreme heat worldwide. I would like to congratulate the National University of Singapore for hosting the regional Southeast Asia hub of this global network and organizing this inaugural forum. This forum will enhance Southeast Asia's regional capacity to manage extreme heat risks effectively by fostering partnerships and promoting the exchange of evidence-based policies. And the theme of this forum today, toward a heat-resilient Southeast Asia, enhancing livelihoods and well-being, reflects our shared commitment as a region to tackle heat management and its effects on our people. This forum convenes at a critical and timely juncture. With climate change, we are all feeling the heat more as a global community. Unless, of course, you live in a bubble all by yourself, otherwise, all of us will be exposed to the risk the environment poses in the era of climate change. According to the World Meteorological Organization, 2024 was the warmest year since global temperature records began, outstripping the temperature of 2023, which was previously the warmest year. So unfortunately for all of us, humanity is facing record high temperatures year on year, and this trend might continue for some time to come. In 2024, Southeast Asia experienced a series of extreme heat events and record-breaking temperatures above 40 degrees Celsius. This has resulted in greater heat stress for people, many of whom are already living and working in hot and humid tropical conditions close to their physiological limits. Rapid urbanization exacerbates this risk through the urban heat island effect, as buildings trap heat and urban activities generate heat of their own. Such elevated temperatures can disrupt water cycles and crop yields and affect sectors such as agriculture, which is an important aspect of the economy in our Southeast Asian nations. Extreme heat poses growing risks for human health. In fact, studies show that approximately 489,000 heat-related deaths occur each year, on average over the past 2 decades, with an estimated 45% of them, unfortunately, happening in Asia. Furthermore, heat stress can be economically costly. In extreme heat waves, earlier this year across several Southeast Asian countries, outdoor activities such as construction and agriculture had to stop work or reduce working hours, and many schools also had to close. Closer to home, Singapore experienced the record highest maximum daily temperature of 37 degrees at Ang Mo Kio on 13th of May 2023, making it not only the warmest day in May on record, but also tying with 17th of April 1983 as the highest ever temperature recorded in Singapore. Last year, the Center for Climate Research Singapore launched Singapore's third climate change study, or the V3 study. Based on V3 climate projections, the annual average daily mean temperature for Singapore could increase by up to 5 degrees Celsius by the year 2100. Very hot days and warm nights, unfortunately, will be the new normal by the end of the century. To prepare for rising temperatures, Singapore has adopted a science-based and proactive heat resilience strategy. Now, first, Singapore has stepped up the implementation of cooling strategies to reduce urban heat. These include leveraging climate-sensitive urban planning and design, intensifying greenery within our urban environment, and reducing heat emissions. For example, we have begun incorporating environmental modeling upstream in the design and planning of new towns and estates, such as the Lentor district, to assess the most optimal configuration to improve wind flow and enhance thermal comfort. Second, we are leveraging science and innovation to design more effective heat resilience strategies. For example, the Cooling Singapore 2.0 project has developed a digital model to simulate Singapore's urban climate and assess the effectiveness of various cooling measures. Even in my own constituency in Tampines, we started applying what we call cool paint, a local innovation on the outsides of our housing buildings so that it reflects away the infrared from the sun and keep the internal environment of our housing estates as cool as possible, reducing the heat stress on our population and reducing their demand for cooling. The team at NUS, Heat Resilience and Performance Center, or HRPC, and the School of Medicine is also investigating the impact of warmer and more humid nights on sleep quality to develop novel cooling solutions such as smart systems that can adjust fan and wind speed and aircon temperature. This will ensure that rising temperature do not disrupt people's rest while we remain as energy efficient as possible. Third, complementing infrastructure interventions and leveraging the latest science and technology, we are working to increase community resilience. In 2023, we launched a heat stress advisory to guide the public on ways to minimize the risk of heat stress. The public can check the prevailing heat stress levels on the MyENV app before embarking on outdoor activities and just take simple steps to protect themselves. The heat stress advisory is supported by sector-specific guidelines, such as the Ministry of Manpower's enhanced measures introduced in September last year to to reduce the risk of heat stress for outdoor workers. This framework includes measures for both workers, such as heat acclimatization and regular hydration, and employers alike, such as monitoring heat stress levels and providing adequate rest breaks under the shade. The Cooling Singapore 2.0 project also investigates the impact of heat on different segments of our population, such as the elderly and the very young, the extreme age groups, which are more vulnerable to heat stress. And through the Climate Impact Science Research Program, we are examining the effects of rising temperature on our physical and mental health, as well as the second-order effects, such as increased prevalence of vector-borne diseases. Many of you are aware that here in the tropics, Singapore has a problem of dengue hemorrhagic fever, and a vector-borne disease like this is something that we pay very close attention to. As climate change is a global challenge that transcends national boundaries, international cooperation and knowledge sharing are crucial. One area of cooperation is in advancing climate science to give us a better glimpse into the future. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or the IPCC, plays a crucial role through its regular assessments of the science related to climate change. Singapore contributes significantly to this effort as well, notably through our support for the IPCC Working Group 2 on impacts, adaptation, and vulnerability. Working Group 2 is co-chaired by Professor Winston Chow, a Singaporean, who will be present here later today to share his insights on the work that he's doing. And we built on the IPCC's work to understand the impact of climate change on our region. Our V3 projections were obtained by downscaling the IPCC's global climate projections from its 6th assessment report, and the V3 is currently the highest resolution set of climate change projections covering Southeast Asia. And we are working with international and regional stakeholders to share this data set for further studies and more widespread use. We hope that this climate data will allow our regional partners to formulate and adjust their own climate adaptation strategies in their own countries. However, enhancing our scientific knowledge alone is not enough. The true power of science lies in its translation into real-world solutions that can practically protect lives and livelihoods. For example, the World Meteorological Organization's efforts in advancing global climate and weather science capabilities underpin its role in co-leading the Early Warnings for All initiative, including for extreme heat and forest fires. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres shared that such early warning systems, coupled with standard occupational safety measures against extreme heat, could yield tenfold returns and annual savings of more than $360 billion. The GHIN, Global Heat Health Information Network, also plays an important role in strengthening the heat health nexus by fostering interdisciplinary cooperation among researchers, practitioners, and policymakers. It equips stakeholders with resources and best practices to create effective heat strategies. The GHIN Southeast Asia Hub, anchored at the HRPC, supports the GHIN by customizing heat health strategies to Southeast Asia's unique context. So today, I'm very happy to officially launch the GHIN Southeast Asia Hub, a critical milestone in our collective efforts to combat the pressing challenges of heat and health in our region. I commend the HRPC, under the leadership of Associate Professor Jason Lee, and the NUS Yong School of Medicine for their leadership in establishing this hub. The hub will facilitate collaboration, knowledge sharing, and capacity building among stakeholders. It will empower our region to develop and implement effective heat health strategies. These efforts are strengthening our regional collaboration on heat resilience, which is crucial for our collective shared future. At this inaugural forum, I urge each and every one of us to actively participate in the discussions and collaborations. Addressing heat health challenges is not a responsibility of any one individual or one sector alone. It is a collective duty that falls on each and every one of us. This will be an important opportunity for all of us to reach across disciplines, sectors, and indeed across international boundaries, fostering collaboration that will help us to develop comprehensive strategies for heat health resilience. I wish to stress that our work on this very important topic does not end when the forum closes. Make friends, continue to build networks and carry this research and dialogue back to your home countries and institutions. This is but a very important first step of a very long journey ahead of us. Transform these conversations and actionable conversations into actionable policies and initiatives that will benefit not just our individual nations, but hopefully our entire region as well. Together, we have the power to shape a more resilient Southeast Asia, better equipped to face the heat-related challenges of tomorrow. And I wish the GHIN Southeast Asia Hub and all of you a fruitful and meaningful forum ahead. And for those of you who are visiting Singapore, have a good time here in Singapore. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, SMS Co, for your opening remarks. It is now my pleasure to bring us to the moment we've all been waiting for, and that is the launch of the first Global Heat Health Information Network Regional Hub right here in Southeast Asia. Please join me as we watch a video related to the launch of the hub.
In a world gripped by rising temperatures, we in Southeast Asia stand at the front line of this global crisis. We are experiencing more intense, more frequent, and more severe heat events, creating unprecedented conditions that are threatening our health, our lives, and our livelihoods. We have always lived with the heat and humidity, so it's easy to think we're used to it. But as the heat intensifies, we must ask, are we truly prepared for what lies ahead? Our countries, provinces and homes are feeling the strain of increasing oppressive heat, with schools closing, work disrupted, and heat-related illnesses on the rise. The toll of chronic heat stress is also quietly impacting our health, productivity and mental well-being. The region's rapid urbanization and aging populations, plus socio-economic disparities, further amplify the impacts, making this issue impossible to ignore. The time to act is now. This urgency has led to the creation of the Global Heat Health Information Network Southeast Asia Hub, a regional initiative of the global network which is spearheaded by the WHO-WMO Joint Office for Climate and Health. Anchored at the Heat Resilience and Performance Center at the National University of Singapore's Yong School of Medicine, the hub will be central to the region's transformative action. Our mission: to foster collaboration, accelerate knowledge sharing, and catalyze evidence-based policy and action. By focusing on regional specific challenges and priorities to safeguard human health and well-being, we strive to prepare communities, protect populations, and empower individuals to thrive in a Southeast Asian climate.
Together as a region, this is our opportunity to build stronger, heat-resilient communities. For today, for tomorrow, and for future generations, let us commit to face these challenges head-on and build a heat-resilient Southeast Asia that can thrive in face of this warming world.
Together, let's rise above the heat.
พวกเรามาสู้กับความร้อนไป
Atu
ด้วย
ta qua apu go cho loa
Mari
jatuh.
kita tahan melawan haba.
Cùng hợp thức phòng chống sốc nhiệt.
Daig natin ang init.
Bersama kita atasi rasa panas.
យើងរួមគ្នាយកឈ្នះបរិយាកាស
Hồn
ខ្លាំង
hén
ខ្លាំង
ก็สามารถเอาชนะอากาศร้อนเอาที่ท้าทาย
I would now like to invite our guest of honor, SMS Dr. Koon, as well as Professor Chong Seng, Dr. Joy Shumake-Guillemot, and Associate Professor Jason Lee on stage to officially launch our hub. Please take your places, and when I say 3, 2, 1, launch, place your hands on the red buttons to activate the fans and launch the hub. 3, 2, 1, Launch! Please remain on stage for a group photo.